I want that. Special delivery. I need that. Special delivery. Welcome to the Special Delivery Podcast. I am your host, Special, and welcome to the first episode of the series for Grand Nationxl's album, Twice on Sunday. This album is so important to me, and each track is just so good that it needed its own episode. Plus, I was honored to speak with almost every single member of this collective about the project, so why not just give it to you in doses? So each episode is a standalone breakdown of a song from the album. On this episode, I spoke with Draper, Bledsoe, Kevin Allen, Brookfield Duece, and Champ Green about track number 1, Wings and Things.
It's Draper. I'm a Special Delivery Podcast representing Grand Nationxl.
Monty's back, the MVP.
I am the MVP.
Goodness gracious.
This is episode 8? No, I'm kidding.
We'll call it 8. It feels like 8, but in a good way. We just got to hop into it.
Yep.
First track, Wings and Things. Didn't spit a verse, but I feel like your opening statement is so powerful.
That's hard. I hear everything you saying, but niggas outside and we ain't winning no war without no money, so show me where the money at. Hey, simple as that.
And I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but what made you want to say it on this track and open the project like that?
You want the real?
Yes.
Them niggas had the nerve to do that song without me, and I was tight. I was so mad. And I want to say Kev was like cutting his verse and like left, was like, I'm gonna do a 5. It was like, oh, I'm definitely getting on this song then. Nah, but honestly, it was like, how do we start threading the story together? So it's all post-production. DB, Kev, Duece, and myself, along with Ant too. Shout out Ant Gonzalez at the grill. Just trying to be real Chronic-esque, and thread it. This is the height of protest and Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, like everything we're feeling and just feeling like it's a war outside. And this continued conversation of racial equality, social injustice, all these conversations, but nobody's talking about the money, right? And so like, how do we, it's obviously a secular conversation, but trying to make it fun, trying to do it in the realm in which we're doing it, like these hard hitting ass beats and everything. It's like, nah, like ain't winning no war without no money. Pac said that on Me Against the World. So it still feel the same way. Like what we're seeing right now is the advancement and people being able to get shit done is as a direct result of the economics of like everything. You know what I'm saying? And so to continue to pretend like that's not a thing, it's just goofy. You'll hear that. That's a continued theme in the record. It's like we're addressing the shit that is goofy within the world from our perspective, but it wasn't something we talked about. It's just something that happened. Everybody came in on that same type of time, and then the thread came together on its own. So it felt right to start the record that way. Definitely.
It's one of my favorite introductions into a project because there's always different types of intros, and I think being thrown into it like that and you being able to speak on that and it being threaded through it really makes a difference on this album, because it's like you want to be thrown into it and you want to know exactly how you feel about things, and I think you didn't hold back with any of that. I think that's super dope.
This is Bledsoe with Special Delivery and Spesh. This is Grand Nationxl.
Yes. Bledsoe is here. How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. Big bless.
So glad.
See what the game did to Steve Francis? Need me some change before they leave me abandoned. Running binges, baby. Ain't no ifs, ands, or maybes. This dope is effortless. Got cooked in the 80s. I don't want that high that made Jesse crazy. I want Joe to see in their prime forever, my lady. I want Wings and Things chicken.
One of a couple songs that you named within your verse.
Yeah.
Of course, Wings and Things, Richmond. How did that come about? Was it just like, okay, I'm just going to write this line and it became the title, or you were kind of thinking about naming it Wings and Things? How does that happen?
Nah, I mean, it's just like these things are imparted on me almost. Like when I'm writing a rap and people like comment on it during the process, they're like, man, you just be grabbing shit from anywhere. But then it goes and I get it. I get what you're doing. And I don't always get it in the writing process. So when I said that, I knew I wanted to do an odd number of bars. And then I'm like, what's just a maney segue that means something to me? And I'm like, oh shit, bring back Wings and Things. And I knew Kev had something right after me. So I'm like, this is perfect, because if he pick up the Richmond connection, I mean, yeah, it was just cool. It made sense.
You spoke about your writing process. What does that look like for the track, especially, deciding that you wanted to do an odd number of bars? What does that look like?
Again, to me, I just want to say something that hasn't been said and is relevant and it resonates. So You know, I might date myself sometimes with my references. You know, a lot of these kids might not know who Steve Francis is, but just again to illustrate the point in a way that nobody else has. So, you know, I might color Superman purple, but that's just my interpretation of it. You know what I mean?
But I think even, you know what I mean, I don't see it so much as dating yourself. People who are listening to this, so many of us are rap fans. And we want to be able to, if we don't know who Steve Francis is, go and look him up and understand the bar deeper. So I think you're giving us homework almost. And it's a really good time for us.
That's dope. I like homework. I'm all for the homework, kids. Do that, please.
It's so necessary.
Yes, Kevin Allen. 1/15th of the collective Grand Nationxl.
Is it actually 15?
Nah, it just sounded cool. It just sounded cool.
Like, it works. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Kevin Allen is here. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm having a good day today. I'm doing cool.
Yes. Happy to hear it. Like I said to you off mic, I'm happy to have you here. I've been following your music forever. So to sit down with you and have this conversation, thank you.
I appreciate you. This is a lot. This is like extensive right here.
Yeah.
This is like one of the most extensive interviews I probably have ever done.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. It's an honor. Goodness.
I slid through Richmond, been pitching like Dave Stewart. Get your money, get out the way. The game foolish. Already behind the 8 ball. Look how the game do us. Had it hard, but we all did, didn't we?
It's so important that you say had it hard, but we all did. Like, even in my own personal life, when I do therapy, I constantly talk to my therapist. I'm like, this sucks, but like, there's people actually struggling. And you kind of play this tug of war with yourself to where it's like, oh, okay, I went through something or I'm going through something, but there's worse stuff happening. What was that line like for you?
That line is based on being, for one, just a man. And not making excuses. I think a lot of human beings go through a phase where it's just woe is me. I had this, I had it hard. Like I was just talking to Kels downstairs about past events that had my anger in the wrong place and had my attitude in the wrong place. But for what? Like for my own self-destruction, just so I can have somebody feel bad. Like I gotta get up and keep pushing. And if you don't get up, you on some sucker shit. It's just how I started to look at it, like to myself. So then it became difficult to kick it with people who play the victim. So it's like, yeah, we had it hard, but we all did. So, like, it's more like sarcasm, like, you know what I mean? Empathy in there. Because I fuck with you because it was once me, but also, how long is it going to be me? Like, forever? Like, nah.
That victim mentality, it really steers connections. I think people who are victims kind of link up together, and people who just don't fuck with that mentality kind of link up together.
Misery loves company, and then the wolf packs.
Exactly. Point blank, period.
What's up, y'all? It's Brookfield Duece, represent East Oakland, California, represent Brookfield, California, Front Page Music, Grand Nationxl, ENT. Yep.
Yes. Brookfield Duece is here. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy to be sitting down with you guys. I'm happy you guys made the time. Like, I'm just a little happy hip-hop kid right now.
That's what it's all about.
It really is.
That shit crazy, my nigga. My niece just graduated from college, bro.
Ever seen zombies that was your classmates? They play it cool, but you see through it like glass plates. Talking about he moved, but I can smell the stench. He really lying, heard he sleeping on a park bench. Shot him with $1, then bounce like what the fuck happened. And they ball in the corner pocket, forever trapped him. Rack him in the morgue of prison, the year's murder. See the eyes stacked, either way it's a tear jerker. Yeah.
Such a standout verse and such a standout theme that you tapped into. A lot of the song is about people's different experiences with drugs and however they took that on. But I think you really commenting on the outcome of it and knowing people in your life and what drugs did to them. Of course, you ever seen Zombies? Were your classmates? What was it like tapping into that in that verse?
Just looking outside, you know, besides Elijah here, everybody's in the mid-range of their adulthood. Yeah. Everyone's 30s. Now you start to see like how life has affected people. You know, when you're, you know, a teenager, you're 20-something, you still live with your mom, things are a little bit different than when you get to the point where you got to live on your own, you got to pay bills, you know, you lose people. And that's really the biggest thing for me is like, I'm at the age where I'm starting to lose family members. You know, people that are older than me are passing away. My dad just passed away, you know, and you start to see people that you went to high school with that was 15, 20 years ago now. and life is beating them up, like America is beating people up, you know. And you used to go to school with these people and they were normal, and now they're asking for change on the corner because life is hard, you know. You just see that every day, especially in the Bay. You can't throw a rock without hitting the tent. I just see it every day. So when I think about the stuff that I write, I always try to focus on things that you can, you know, visualize as I'm, you know, rapping it. And just thinking about the zombies that was your classmates was like, I just talked to one, you know what I mean? And he was making it seem like everything was fine. I know a lot of people that like couch hop, you know, they don't have a place to stay. Bledsoe has a line in the album that talks about, you know, some more homies homeless than homeowners, you know, and it's like it's a true statement. We're all tapping into the reality of what we see every day and the outside world, and we put that into the music. So that was my focus for my verse in Wings and Things, was like, we're just talking about the street. We're talking about what's going on outside, you know, and that's really like important to focus on, not just the social issues in America, but a big issue in the Bay is homelessness, you know. So I think drugs have a lot to do with that.
As you were talking, you kind of made a distinction because a lot of the other verses were about drugs. That's kind of where my mind went. But like you said, it's just life. Like life treats people differently and has different outcomes. And it's not an easy thing to navigate. So it's like it could be drugs, but it could also just be random circumstances, getting fired from a job, the way things just kind of snowball. You could have never even touched drugs, but still end up in a fucked up situation.
The song is definitely about changes. You know, like Bledsoe misses Wings and Things that's closed now. And Richmond isn't the same, it's been changed. Oakland isn't the same, it's been changed. Yeah, the song is about changes, which is kind of ironic too, because it's the first song on the record. So it's like the change in the entirety of the album is like, this ain't the same stuff you've been listening to. The song is about changes, but the album is a change from what you've been listening to. The intro is change.
The layers, they make me so happy. Goodness.
You're now rocking with Champ Green from Grand Nationxl. Twice on Sunday, out now. And this is the special delivery. Yeah, special delivery.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you. Champ Green is here. How you doing?
I'm all good.
I'm glad.
Had to weigh it out like a triple beam. So many schemes playing dirty, now I'm Mr. Clean. I let freedom ring, blow like George Young. Put my hot dog on the bun, we should overcome. Now I overcame, I feel melancholy. Shit, it's a green day, nigga pass the broccoli. Probably champagneing, thinking of wonder years. Fred Savage niggas dead, I'm just crying tears.
I really feel like on that verse, you take the time to, of course, we've had conversations today about changes and what changes look like. And for you, it was really about cleaning up and cleaning your life and growing and changing in that way. And you really illustrated what it feels like to do that. What was it like for you writing that verse?
Really, it's just about a maturation process. In order to glow like you want to glow, you got to grow. A larvae can't just be a larvae. He has to be butterfly if he really wants to fly in the sky, right? Just the transition and the transformation of oneself. I tend to say, as you evolve, you problem solve. That's just where I am with it. And then with a plethora of creativity, it only makes sense to add my 2 cents, you know.
You just basically spoke in bars. That was gorgeous. But you can tell it comes from a very, not only a genuine place, but a place where you have learned that these bars about life are what it really is. There's so much authenticity when you talk, and I just really admire that.
For sure. Appreciate you.
No problem. Anything else you want to say about Wings and Things?
Wings and Things was one of the last songs done on the project. I was so tight with Kev because he had waited so long to play that beat. I'm like, why didn't you plug this beat up months ago? But in the time that it happened, it was perfect. And that's how it came out, sounding like it does. Everybody on the song just did that thing and made it perfect. David Michael, that was I think he was there maybe 1 or 2 sessions. But that session, he killed it. He did that in another song, and when I heard that hook, I'm like, oh, shit, this is one of those ones. Like, we were asked on another pod about what our favorite songs are, and, like, not even on any kind of conceited shit. And me being on it, this is one of my favorite songs just because of how hard that beat is. I mean, and again, the hook, that's how a nigga feel.
I'm big on relationships and big on history, and the fact that the historic situation on Wings and Things as far as, you know, it being a spot in Richmond, man, brothers was paying homage. I'm appreciative of being able to hear stories. It's like when you look at history or the History Channel and you go back to the origin of the beginning, you know, when you plant a seed or a seed is planted, the harvest don't come the same time as the seed that you plant. You got to wait. You never know like what will rise, from that. And here we are now. I've never been to Wings and Things, but I was able to go to Wings and Things by way of my Richmond players. And to get that origin and to get that taste, made me, get me a nice little wing and thing, Although I was from Oakland, I was able to embrace it. Like, to be able to get a history lesson, and be able to digest that. And then at the same time, you manifest it by bringing Wings and Things to life. Just paying homage and getting the knowledge, so yeah.
And also experiencing that with them. You know what I mean? Like, you could look it up yourself and be like, oh, that's Wings and Things. But to hear it from somebody who actually enjoyed it and it was a big deal to them and they could tell you how it tastes and how it smelled, like, it's just a different experience. And I think that that's an important part of history, is learning from the people who actually experienced it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Can you believe it? This is episode 150 of the Special Delivery Podcast. Thank you if you've listened to every episode or this is your first one. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever you're listening on. Episode 2 is out right now, so you can listen to it right after this, and then there'll be 2 more episodes next week. We're just going to keep it coming. You could reach out to me. I'm on Twitter @SpecialSays, and on Instagram, it's @SpecialSays as well. As always, this episode is dedicated to Marlon. Do what you can to stop senseless acts of gun violence.